Hey there, welcome to or welcome back to Oki Outdoor Adventures. I'm going to start this video off by telling you that there is no outdoor adventure in this video. If you're a regular to the channel, you have noticed an absence of content going up over the last few weeks. And while I don't feel like I necessarily owe anyone an explanation, I kind of wanted to share what was going on and what the channel may look like over the next few months. So stick with me and if you're curious, then stick with the video. If not, you can probably just click off now and save us both the heartache and headache. I also want to lead off by saying that I'm not asking for any medical advice, and I'm certainly not giving any medical advice as I talk through kind of some of what has been going on, so please keep that in mind. I'm no expert, just going off of what I currently know, and that's it. So I guess let's jump right into where we're at. First things first, I don't talk about it much on camera, but I am in sales. My regular day-to-day job, I work in sales for a technology company, and as a result of that, I deal with, how do I put that? I guess deadlines, right? Deadlines and goals. So October is the last month in the third quarter, and a lot of my attention was focused on making sure that I was attaining the goals necessary to continue to progress within my career. Unfortunately, this quarter had been a little more dramatic, I guess a little harder on me than some of the previous quarters. It's no excuse. It just I have to commit a lot of my time to ensuring that all of my clients are taken care of so that I can in turn be taken care of. So not a big deal in that regard, just spent a lot of time focused on making sure that I was getting some deals wrapped up and working on positioning myself well for the end of the year. So that's number one. Number two, September. I said October. What I meant to say is September. September was the last month in the quarter. October is the first month of the first quarter. Fourth quarter. September was the last month of the third quarter. We're going into the fourth quarter. That's what I was trying to say. Just keep up with me. Also, October 1st was opening day of archery season, so I was working on getting my bow sighted in. I probably could have shared some of that content with you, but I don't really feel like that's particularly compelling unless you're interested in that. If you are, let me know. I will make a video about how I sighted in my bow, my practice routine, and kind of take you through some of the steps as I kick off deer season. I did film a little bit of that this weekend, but unfortunately lost that when I did some formatting. No big deal, but it is what it is. So I think third and probably the most important and really the crux of why I have gone a little bit silent on social media and YouTube in general is unfortunately I'm dealing with some health concerns. I want to start off by saying that I'm mostly fine. I will be okay, but just I'll tell you, I guess, a little bit of background. So I think you guys, if you've been a viewer on the channel for some time, saw in the tournament video that Alex and I fished where I was struggling a little bit, and I thought that I was just hot, right? So I was hunched over at different times, and I was hunched over at different times and just wasn't doing very well. I thought I was dehydrated, thought maybe I was too hot. But that was the first sign that I should have taken that something else was going on. So we progress into August, and like every time that I'm out on the boat, I'm just feeling I'm feeling rough, right? Anytime that I have to bend over to pick up tackle or pick up a rod, I'm extremely lightheaded. I'm tiring easily. Granted, I hadn't been able to do much in the gym lately because of everything else that was going on. So, I attributed it to being a little bit out of shape and losing some of that cardio that I'd built up. But September rolls around and it's getting worse. Like every trip out, regardless of the temperature, I'm really struggling on the boat and I can't figure out what's going on. And I start noticing that I'm struggling a little bit at home, right? Simple tasks like, walking the trash cans to the street was it was exhausting, and it just really started bothering me. Well, the second week of September, I was at home, and I was feeling junky. I hadn't really eaten anything, and I could feel my pulse. Right, I could literally see my pulse in my head. I could see the flashes, and I'm like, man, that's not good. I don't feel good. So I went to urgent care, and they took my blood pressure, and it was like 170 over 105, which I don't know how to tell you or how to explain what that means, other than that it was extremely high. So they went through and did an EKG and a few additional tests, and excuse me, unfortunately, some discoveries were made, or maybe it was fortunately, I don't know. I guess it depends on your perspective. But ultimately, I am dealing with an arrhythmia and an arterial fibrillation, which basically means that my heart's not working right. So the arrhythmia is an irregular heartbeat, and that is, I don't know if one's a result of the other, but the arterial fibrillation, I don't know how to explain it, but electrical impulses being sent to your heart create an irregular heartbeat or an irregular pattern in the heart. So there's an electrical impulse that drives how your heart beats, and mine's unfortunately not working correctly. So I've got type 2 hypertension, which I'm working on, and then we've got to work through the process of determining why the irregular heartbeat is there. Is it environmental? Is it because of something in my health? Is it because of all the poor choices that I made as a young adult? Is it genetic predisposition? I hadn't had any like heart type medical trouble up until this year, and frankly, it's a little bit scary. It's a lot to process. There's really something to be said when you start talking about like mortality when it comes to things like that, like, you know, having a toothache or spraining an ankle, breaking a bone. Those are serious things. There's no doubt about it, but I don't know. It's kind of a tough pill to swallow when you think about the possibility of your heart stopping. Right? Am I out driving down the road with my boat attached and have a heart attack and crash, kill myself, potentially injure somebody else? Be out on the lake fishing, have something happen, fall over the side. So I'm trying to process that as much as I can. But I guess in that same vein, I'm not really trying to change anything that I'm doing from an activity type perspective. I'm making some lifestyle changes, going back to a strict diet. I haven't been eating like terrible. I occasionally cheat and have fast food here and there, but I'm going back to a strict diet. We're going to go ahead and increase at doctor's orders some of my activity to get back into a position where I feel like I'm able to be more mobile and maybe build up and strengthen that heart a little bit through some cardio. But yeah, so really that's where I'm at, guys. I know that I've said a lot without really saying anything. I know that nobody's demanding an explanation. You may or may not care. For those who do, I certainly appreciate the well wishes, the love and support that you've shown. Those of you who've reached out and checked in on me, I appreciate you more than you know. But I do have some good content on the way. We'll be having some hunting content, some fishing content. Alex and I have got a huge project that's coming in the next month. Excuse me, my goodness. A huge project coming in the next month that I think is going to be one of the most amazing things that I've ever been a part of. Alex is going to start doing some hunting. I'm sure he'll talk about that on his channel. I really do. I have a lot going on. I just had to take a little bit of a mental break and I guess compose myself a little bit. So you may have noticed that in some of the previous videos that I've released. I've been a little bit off, but hoping to get back on that. So at any rate, if you guys have any questions, comments, have any experience with anything that I mentioned, feel free to start a conversation down below. I realize this is not what you probably want to see on an outdoor channel, but I wanted to share where I was at, guys. So thank you very much. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button. If you are not already currently a subscriber, I would strongly encourage you to press that subscribe button. We've got some good stuff on the way, and we'll catch you next time, guys, on the water.